Speak with Reardon. You have gathered your armies, and it is time to lead them against the greatest threat that Ferelden has seen in centuries. The Archdemon and the Darkspawn have reached Denerim, and it will fall to the Blight unless you do something about it. You must speak to the Grey Warden Reardon before you retire for the night. Tomorrow you will march to Denerim. Well, okie dokie. How do I find his room, then? Dwarves? What are all these dwarves doing here? Hi, dwarf.
And what word have we from Orzammar? Has House Claret sent their men, or haven't they?
They're stalling, which is as good as it.
Arender.
House Claret's feud with House Romald has flared up again since their son died in that deep road business.
I can only imagine Georgianne is like, fuck all this shit. Oh no! Son died in the deep roads business.
Start with that nonsense again. I've half a mind to... Evening to you, Grey Warden.
It's probably the first woman dwarf these guys have seen in weeks. Okay, so I noticed they mentioned the family of House Rumold, I think, who died in the Deep Roads. Was that the one dude that we met that went crazy, and we agreed to tell his mom that he was dead even though he wasn't? It might have been another dude. I don't know, but that kind of makes me think like, oh, maybe if we would have made another choice, House Rumold would have sent more dwarves and we'd have more in the party here. That's interesting. I'm going to give the game credit for that kind of decision tree. Is there a problem with the dwarven forces? You guys sound preoccupied.
Nothing that can be dealt with.
Fucking belts,
now,
man. Fucking belts.
Just one of the houses being thicker than the stone that made them.
Once all of this blight business is done, there will be a reckoning in the assembly.
They're probably half hoping we'll all wind up dead. That way they'll have one of the strongest forces left in Orzammar.
Enough to face the Darkspawn all on their own, I suppose? That's exactly the kind of half-arse thinking that got us into the mess after Endrin passed.
It was our good fortune that you decided to return home when you did, Grey Warden.
Well, thank you.
For all that you needed our help, I expect we needed yours more.
Shouldn't you all be resting?
Resting? Who can rest after the march we had getting here? These humans have it easy with their long legs.
That, and we're kept up thinking about the coming battle.
Are things truly that desperate? Do we stand a chance of losing?
Do we stand a chance of winning? That's the question. Interesting that these guys are like, oh man, we had a long march here. Well, it's like, tomorrow at dawn we're turning around and marching to fucking Denerim, right? They're like, what the fuck? Why couldn't anybody have told us? We just would have met you there. God damn it. Okay. We will find a way to win. We must, says Georgianne.
I hope you're right. Under the open sky is a terrible place to consider dying, that's for sure.
Right. Off to camp with both of you, and keep the drunkenness to a minimum. We have a long way to go yet. Pleasant evening to you, Grey Warden, and good fortune on the field of battle.
By drunkenness to a minimum, I mean only slightly hungover tomorrow. Well, that was cool. Okay, this way, I presume. Duke? Duke? It's Duke! Oh. Duke, I thought I taught you better than this. You see anything interesting, Duke? Yes, he runs off. Found a piece of wood carved with curious symbols. Dirt still clings to it and it looks very old. Okay. You don't really know what it is, but it looks like it could be of use as some kind of weapon. What? What the fuck? What did I just receive? Piece of wood. A two-handed staff made out of viridium. Requires... Okay, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Okay, it's not as good as what she has. And it's not as good as what... Well, that's very strange. Why did they give this to me now? In the 11th hour, when it's much more likely that I'll have found a better weapon for my mages. I'm thinking like, holy shit, how freaking cool would it be if right at the end of the game, Duke just digs up a really awesome weapon. Like when they said it was a weapon, I was like, oh shit, cool, okay. I was thinking like, that would be really sweet if he dug up like a really awesome weapon that you'd be like, I didn't find this on any of my tough enemies throughout the game, and here Duke just digs it up. That's really cool. But instead it's not better than anything we've already got.
Something I can help with?
Do we have anything to talk about?
Yes? What's on your mind?
Feel like we should because it's the end of the game, but no, we don't. Alright, I'm going to assume then that we have nothing to talk about with anybody. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Second floor. Yeah, I'm going to say that's where I have to go. I'm a Grey Warden. I know where I'm going. Don't you worry your pretty little head about it. Oh, hello. What? Okay. Okay, I took a map for some unknown reason. Map of occupied Ferelden. Who would that be for? Oh. Okay, I'm gonna try talking to Alistair. Alistair's
there
like...
you are. Let's go see what Riordan has to say.
Okay, he has nothing to say. This is so strange. Maybe I'm comparing this to Mass Effect. But Mass Effect has... when you're starting the end game, you have a conversation you can have with every one of your squad mates. And it's kind of a very appropriate and honest and touching culmination of your conversations with them throughout the entire game, both 1, 2, and 3. And it just seems a little weird that there's not that final conversation with each one of your party members in this game. I think I know what's coming here. Let's just see.
What comes, my friend?
Oh, okay, I guess that happens later.
So, full of questions, are you?
Okay, never mind. That must come later. There's a reason she's sitting in this bedroom with a lit fire. Okay, let's see. Is there... Whoops. I was going to say, is there anything in this room I can loot? But
You're
it's too
new
late.
to the Grey Wardens, and you may not have been told how an archdemon is slain. I need to know if that is so.
You mean there's more to it than just, say, chopping off its head?
I was going to say the same
No,
thing.
it is true. Duncan had not yet told you. I had simply assumed. Tell me, have you ever wondered why the Grey Wardens are needed to defeat the Darkspawn?
I assumed it had something to do with... yeah, holy shit. I was about to say exactly this. I assumed it had something to do with the taint. Detecting the Darkspawn, them detecting us, all that shit. Oh. Skill and ability to... yeah, this one actually is more reflective of what I was thinking than this. So yeah, because of our ability to detect them.
Were that so, then any skilled warrior would suffice.
What?
The archdemon may be slain, as any other Darkspawn. But should any other than a Grey Warden do the slaying, it will not be enough. The essence of the beast will pass through the taint to the nearest Darkspawn and will be reborn anew in that body. The dragon is thus all but immortal. But if the archdemon is slain by a Grey Warden, its essence travels into the Grey Warden instead.
Okay. First, I don't really know if I care that much if the essence of the archdemon travels to the nearest Darkspawn, because there's no Darkspawn that's badass as a dragon. So, I mean, yeah, it's like, okay, theoretically, any schmo could kill the dragon. And then, oh no, its soul passes to another Darkspawn, but most of the other Darkspawn are weak as fuck. And sure enough, eventually a Grey Warden could get there and slay it. That would probably be the... in fact, given that there's only a few Grey Wardens left, it would probably be preferable to have a bunch of regular old soldiers kill the Archdemon, so that the Archdemon doesn't... we don't risk the Archdemon killing the Grey Wardens. And then when the Archdemon's spirit, soul, essence, whatever, has passed into another Darkspawn, then you send the Grey Wardens in and we finish them off. Okay. Anyway, it goes into the Grey Warden, and that doesn't sound very healthy.
The Darkspawn is an empty, soulless vessel, but a Grey Warden is not. The essence of the Archdemon is destroyed, and so is the Grey Warden.
Meaning the Grey Warden who kills the Archdemon dies?
Yes. Without the Archdemon, the Blight ends. It is the only way.
There's no other way? A Grey Warden must die?
As far as we know, the transfer of the Archdemon's essence is automatic. If one of us is not present when the killing blow is made, it is all for nothing. There is no other way. for what it's worth. I'm sorry.
It's not worth much. I barely know you. It's up to the three of us then to kill this thing. If all three of us are standing nearby when we kill it, is there a way to know whom the essence will go to? Anyway, let's say it's up to the three of us to kill this thing.
In Blight's past, when the time came, the eldest of the Grey Wardens would decide which amongst them would take that final blow. If possible, the final blow should be mine to make. I am the eldest, and the taint will not spare me much longer. But if I fail, the deed falls on you. The Blight must be stopped now, or it will destroy all of Ferelden before the rest of the Grey Wardens can assemble. Remember that. But enough. There will be much to do tomorrow, and little enough time to rest before it. I will let you return to your rooms.
I will see you once the army is ready to march, then. I guess this ends soon. One way or another.
That it does, my friend. That it does.
Okay. Sounds like Reardon is ready to take the killing blow. Make the killing blow, and I guess also take it, if it comes to that. And I'm, as Georgiana, I'm going to assume that I'm not really going to think about this too hard until after it's demonstrated that Reardon cannot take the killing blow. Then that's when we deal with that problem.
You should get some sleep before morning. There will be much to do when the army marches.
Understood.
Do not be alarmed. It is only I.
I knew you were in here. Don't you have your own bedroom?
I decided that it was time we spoke. I have a plan, you see. A way out. The loop in your hole. I know what happens when the Archdemon dies. I know a Grey Warden must be sacrificed, and that sacrifice could be you. I have come to tell you that this does not need to be.
What do you mean?
I offer a way out. A way out for all the Grey Wardens, that there need be no sacrifice. A ritual. Performed on the eve of battle, in the dark of night.
Those are the best kind of rituals. I'm listening. What sort of ritual is this?
It is old magic. From a time before the Circle of Magi was created. Some would call it blood magic. But I think that means little to one like you.
Where did you learn this?
From Flemeth, of course. I have known about it for some time.
I see. So you knew about the sacrifice that Reardon told me.
I did. Would you have believed me if I had been the one to tell you? I have my doubts.
Okay, tell me more.
What I propose is this. Convince Alistair to lay with me, here tonight. And from this ritual, a child shall be conceived within me. The child will bear the taint, and when the Archdemon is slain, its essence will seek the child like a beacon. At this early stage, the child can absorb that essence and not perish.
Okay.
The Archdemon is still destroyed with no Grey Warden dying in the process.
Okay, first off, why the hell would a weak in utero infant be more capable? In fact, we're planning to fight this thing within a matter of days, right? So it's not even going to be an infant, it's going to be a blastocyst, right? It's barely going to be a fetus. Why would it be capable of withstanding this when a human adult couldn't? That's my first question. I guess Georgianne doesn't know all this. That's just my out of character knowledge question. But anyway, the follow-up is, why would Morrigan want to do this? I want to ask all of this, but I'm asking, what's in it for you first?
In return, I conceive a child, one who will be born with the soul of an old god. After this is done, you allow me to walk away, and you do not follow. Ever. The child will be mine to raise as I wish.
I want to know as much as you can tell me about this child as possible before I agree to this.
As you wish.
Will it be evil? What will it become?
A Allow me to say that what I seek is the essence of the old god that once was, and not the dark forces that corrupted it.
Okay.
Some things are worth preserving in this world. Make of that what you will.
That's not the craziest thing we've ever heard, given what we've learned about the old gods through the Codex, which I'm assuming Georgianne has been exposed to. What do you intend to do with the child?
I do not wish to tell you.
I'm going to say that I insist. If she refuses again, I'm not going to push it, but I want to see what she says to this.
The child will represent freedom.
Oh, okay.
For an ancient power, a chance to be reborn apart from the taint. Is that not reason enough to do it? I will raise the child apart from the rest of society and teach it to respect that from which it came. Beyond that, you need know nothing else.
Right, but what if it realizes who it is? Right? I mean, she's talking about hosting the equivalent of a magical atomic bomb inside of her womb and turning it into another person. As if that person won't realize that it's an atomic bomb, you know? What if Alistair wants to see the child?
I have no doubt he may, but he will not. It is all I ask for in return.
I see. And you're confident the child won't be hurt?
Ignoring that after but one night it could barely be called a child, no, it will not be hurt. It will be changed.
So is it the case that any Grey Warden that reproduces then produces a child with the taint? She said that the child in utero will have the taint simply, I'm assuming, simply because Alistair has it. So it becomes a genetic thing then? That's weird. All right.
Then you have decided?
I have not decided. Why Alistair and why not Riordan? Say.
Even if I thought Riordan could be convinced, he is unsuitable. I need one who has not been tainted for long. It must be him, and it must be tonight.
Why the fuck is that the case? How do you know this will work?
This is what my mother intended when she sent me with you. She was the one who first gave me this ritual and told me of what I was meant to do. This does not surprise you, does it? Did you not wonder why Flemeth saved your life? Why she aided you? This is why.
We
What is
fucking
important
killed her.
Is that I am offering this to you now. It will work, and it will save your life.
We killed her on your instructions because you didn't want your mother taking over your body with her essence. And now here you're like, oh, well, yes, I know that's what my mother said, but I'm prepared to do the exact same thing with my own child. I don't know. This is all, yeah, if it was Morrigan saying, hey, I've got this crazy idea, then we'd be willing to entertain it. But here she is saying, like, actually, it was Flemeth's idea. Flemeth, the same Flemeth that I wanted you to kill because of her crazy fucking ideas. I'm not sure. I don't imagine you think Alistair would agree to this, do you?
You will advise him to do so, and because he trusts you more than he would ever trust me, he will comply. Consider the alternative. If Riordan fails, do you think Alistair will hesitate? He will die the hero of Ferelden, Marik's son, and you will be forgotten.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
okay.
you have many good reasons to tell him to save his own life. I think you should consider them carefully.
Wait, so she's saying if Alistair dies a hero, I will be forgotten, and that's a reason why I should save Alistair's life, so that I get some credit that he would otherwise hog as a martyr? That's a fucked up reasoning. Okay, I feel like Georgianne has grown to trust Morrowind. Morrowind? Holy shit. Well, that's something right there. I feel like Georgianne has grown to trust Morrigan over this series. But this isn't Morrigan proposing Morrigan's plan. This is Morrigan proposing Flemeth's plan. And so it kind of feels like, why is she bringing this up now? In the 11th hour. She didn't mention this at all before. And now she wants some twisted sex ritual with Alistair, which he hasn't even agreed to and couldn't truly consent to without me strongly persuading him to do so. Strongly to an inappropriate degree, I think. And even then, we still don't know what the fuck the result's going to be and what Morrigan plans to do with it. And no. I'm going to say no. Even at the risk of making a 1 in 3 dice roll that Georgianne dies, I don't think that she would agree to this. Even risking Morrigan's friendship, I don't think she would agree to this. If Morrigan could give more concrete answers about what would happen with this kid and what she would do with it when she raised it, and if Morrigan was not also saying, this was all Flemeth's idea, and that's why I'm here, ha 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 ha. Because as much as we think we've killed Flemeth, like, if Flemeth has lived for centuries, it's perfectly reasonable to think that we didn't actually destroy her, that we just killed her. But that she's still out there somewhere, perhaps taking another form or something. You know, witches, they're all crazy and weird. So it's reasonable to think that at some point in the future, Flemeth could get her hands on this kid. Maybe that was part of her plan all along. Nah, there's too many unknowns, and as much as Georgianne doesn't want to die tomorrow, or whatever day it is we end up fighting, 2 or 3 days hence, she recognizes that with the Taint, she will certainly be dying in a number of years. On the outside, she would think it'd be a max of 20, So losing the next 20 years versus losing the next, say, 80 as a dwarf, it's like, okay, well, sacrificing 20 years, not 80 years. So dying tomorrow isn't the worst thing in the world if I'm truly saving the world from the blight. And there's really only a 1 in 3 chance of that happening, right? Assuming that Alistair and Reardon and Georgianne all make it to the fight with the Archdemon, and one of them deals the killing blow. There's a 2 in 3 chance that she survives. So Morrigan's offer isn't that attractive from a self-preservation perspective. Even so, self-preservation, I think, would override other considerations if Morrigan could make more sense. But she's not. She's being very vague. She's offering very little information. It would require coercing a sexual act from Alistair that I'm absolutely positive he would not be comfortable with, because he's never really cared for Morrigan at all. And Morrigan's just not providing enough concrete information to make us feel like this is a good idea. So no, after some ridiculous amount of consideration, Georgianne's not going to agree to this.
Do not let your foolish pride condemn you. No Grey Warden asked for the sacrifice that is now demanded of them, and I offer all of you a way out. Will you not reconsider?
If it was a way out that didn't require all the crazy batshit stuff you're not thoroughly explaining, no, I will not reconsider. The answer is just no.
Then you are a fool.
Maybe so.
I will not stand by and watch you waste this opportunity. Die if you feel it is worthwhile, or be overshadowed. I care not.
Morrigan, this doesn't require us to part.
Would that I could have helped you. That is your doing, however, and not mine. Fare you well, my friend. I do what I must now, and so shall you.
She could turn into a dog the entire time? You're ugly, kid. Yes, Papa. Kid is ugly, though. He is ugly, you're right.
We have gathered all the forces we can.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, my ugly son. I know, Mama, I'm sorry.
The Darkspawn Horde is sure to reach the capital before us. And so we must race to Denerim as quickly as we can.
Yes, but all of our compatriots
The
will
lives
be there.
of many thousands hang in the balance. We must not forsake them.
Is that Arl Eamon's voice? That's not. Yeah. Okay.
You have gathered an army to
It's
replace
not
the
Duncan's
one
voice.
lost at Ostagar, Grey Warden.
A bunch of sexily dressed mages, no less.
Let us pray that it will be enough.
Oh my god. Dude, sweet. Anora's wearing armor. This is awesome. She's gonna give a speech. Give a rousing speech.
Before us
Yes.
stands the might of the Darkspawn Horde. Gaze upon them now, but fear them not. The woman you see beside me is a dwarf.
Hi.
Raised to the ranks of the Grey Wardens. This is not her home, and yet still she fights with honor and passion. She has survived despite the odds, and without her, none of us would be here.
Thank you. That's a
Today,
very touching
we
endorsement.
save Denerim. Today, we avenge the death of my husband, your King Kaelan. But most of all, today, we show the Grey Wardens that we remember and honor their sacrifice. For Ferelden! For the Grey Wardens!
That's definitely not a speech we would have gotten from Alistair. Georgianne's feeling a bit validated that she chose Honora. Or rather that she had Alistair kill Logain and forced it to be Honora. No! No! Spare his life, you monster! Oh, god damn it. Oof. 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 Yeah. Smash. Dragon! Yeah! I see all these guys are one-hitting this Darkspawn as well. This is all going very well. Unless it was all a trap! Maybe? This is looking a lot like Helgen.